Hello, hello, hello. It's Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Successfully. Let me get myself together. I'm so excited to be here. It is a Monday, and it's like one of those days where like it's so full of momentum. I hope you all are feeling that too. I hope you're experiencing it in your own spaces and in your own businesses. I hope that you are moving with power and momentum, that you're marching towards a strong finish to the end of the year. And so thank you for joining us. Thank you. Today I'm gonna get real. I'm gonna get real. I'm gonna say some things that might offend some people. Oh well. Oh well. And so take this as you need to take it. My goal is to not offend. My goal is to just simply share with you a few things that, I learned the hard way. I learned it the hard way. And I hope that you don't have to learn the same things over and over, make the same mistakes, stay stuck or not see the growth that you're looking for in your business because you're playing small, right? One of my mentors said this and it touched me in a way where you just oh, you have one of those like responses to it. And so it was you're playing small. When you decide not to play small, your business is going to take off. And so I want to encourage you around the same thing to not play small. And so today I really want to chat through the idea that broke people aren't your clients. I said it. I said it. I think that we put ourselves in a position to have so many frustrations or we're discounting and we're wheeling and dealing and we're taking projects because something's better than nothing, and then we end up miserable because we took a project at a low rate of pay. We took it at a low rate of pay, and then now we're doing all this extra work and we're miserable, right? So there, we don't have to do that. You don't have to sign up for that. So when it comes to my whole position on broke people aren't your clients, I do want to clarify something really quickly. I want to give you my definition of broke. Okay. I'm going to give you my definition of broke. And again, I'm not a money mindset expert, but this is just based on my observations and kind of experiences that, there comes a certain point where there's temporary and then there's the habitual, right? So there's two types of broke. There's two types of broke in my opinion. The first type of broke is a temporary cash flow disruption. It's temporary. It's temporary. And so what might have caused that cash flow disruption may be an unexpected bill. Your dog had to go to the vet and have emergency surgery. You weren't planning on that. No one ever signs up for that, you know. Or you have a flat tire and now you got to get all four tires replaced. Or, you have clients that are slow paying. The money's coming, they're just slow at getting it to you, right? So that's what one definition, there one type of broke, I mean, where it's just temporary, it's just a disruption and the flow of your money. And you will be right as rain in less than 30 days. That's one type of broke, right? And then there's a broke mindset, right? A broke mindset is always saying you don't have money and not investing in things that would uh, increase your ability to make money because you can't see or you don't value that investment, or not taking that trip because it's too expensive, right? Not taking a break because you could lose money, or not buying quality and then having to replace it multiple times and spend the same amount of money. That's what I mean by a broke mindset, right? where you're not seeing the investment, you're not making quality decisions. Everything is framed around what you can't do, right? Or every conversation is when my money get right, or I'm so broke, I'm this, I'm the, and you're always complaining about a lack as opposed to being grateful and leaning into the spirit of abundance that there's more than enough out there. Okay. So I just want you to assess that when you're talking to when you're having your consultation calls. When if you get a money objection, are they temporarily are they temporarily experiencing broke, or do they have a broke mindset? Okay. So I saw in our community, we did a quick survey around the idea of, how often when you have a consult call, do you hear that it's too expensive? I can't afford it. I need to move a few things around. And we're seeing that 80% of the time, that's what our community members are experiencing. That's the feedback that they're usually getting. Okay. And so the first thing I want to check in with when you're thinking about the, um, when you're thinking about the why you are experiencing this feedback of things being too, but why it's too expensive, or I can't afford it, or I need to move things around. I want you to really check in on your ideal client, on that potential platinum client. Are they the right client for this offer? Right? I had several calls last week, and it all came down to, yeah, I'm having all of these conversations. I'm getting tons of leads, and people are signing up for the consults, and nobody can afford it. And so to that, I say, well, my question to you is that are they too early on in the process? So if you're a career coach and you specialize in working with leaders and you're having conversations with junior staffers, of course it's going to be outside of their budget, right? If you are a business coach and you are wanting to charge a 5-figure investment to a new business owner, it's highly unlikely that they have that kind of capital because they're a new business owner. Maybe you need to work with someone who's been a little further along in the process, because by definition, a small business, according to the SBA, is anything under $5 million. Or I think your micro business is under 500K. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so there's a lot of space to play there. So you have to really just assess, is this the right client? Is my offer matching up to this potential client, right? Because you may need to shift your offer, or you may need to shift who you're talking to. So, like, again, if you're hearing 80% of the time, even 50% of the time, that it's too expensive, I can't afford it, I need to move things around, your the match between that potential platinum client and your offer may be a little off. Okay. If you are always hearing it's too expensive, it might be that you're not communicating the value. You might not be clearly communicating the value of your program. So what I like to tell my clients is that, we want to be able to give people tangible, measurable results. So when you say something like, join my program because you'll feel less stressed at the end of it, that's really broad. And, there's a lot of things you can do to feel less stressed. So, how can you rework your offer so that it sounds more valuable to that potential client, so that it meets their needs, so that you're speaking specifically to their aspirations or their pain points? I like to speak more to aspirations, because pain points, you're attracting people who are woe is me, as opposed to when you speak to aspirations, you're talking to solutions oriented people who want to take action and make a change, right? So I want you to just really think about that, consider it. um are you really communicating I do this, I help you with this, so that, right? I help you get 20 clients in 12 months or less so that you have the option of leaving your corporate job. I help you develop a high ticket offer so that you can scale your coaching practice and have your freedom and flexibility, right? So, are you clearly communicating the value of the program? And so, I really want you to think about that piece, right? So, is your platinum potential client matching up with that platinum offer to create that platinum effect? Are those matching up? Are you clearly communicating the value of the program, right? Or are you just saying, these really general things that don't equate to a tangible outcome or a measurable result, right? When you can say, I'll help you 5x your revenue, okay, you'll probably be less stressed out if you made some more money, right? That's a byproduct. That's a byproduct, right? So let's just kind of think through that piece. And then finally, the last thing I would say is when you're thinking about if you're getting it's too expensive, I can't afford it. Money's tight right now. You get all these money excuses. I would really think about just check in from a historical standpoint. When you think of your potential platinum clients, do they even have the resources to work with you? So, like students, college students, if you're targeting college students, you probably have to market to their parents, right? Or, if they have been unemployed for long periods of time, right? If they are, just if they're like a frontline worker, if they work in retail or they work in hospitality, like there's only so much money they're going to make in that space. So I really want you to think about even the best case scenario. Even if this person is like, yes, 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 I want to sign up. Will they ever have the means to work with you? And so really, and we touch on that in our our ebook that we've been sending around the last week or so. We touch on that concept of like there are just categories that historically they have limited means, right? And so if the whole group has limited means, you're going to continue to have these calls where it doesn't matter what it's priced at. Their budgets are just so tight. Their take home pay is so low that the idea of investing in a program could mean they don't get groceries. They're not your ideal client, and that's okay. Continue to create content, continue to serve through your content, continue to serve through your newsletter, continue to serve through these free spaces, right? There's a lot of value people can get from what you're putting out in the world, right? So I want you to consider those things. If you are, and it's okay, broke people aren't your clients. And I experienced this firsthand when, just kind of thinking through what I really want to do, right? And our outcomes. And like, yes, I really want to serve this particular population, but they're just not in a space to invest that kind of money. And that's okay. You can shift things, you can move things. And sometimes it's just a little tweak, or it's just it is taking things one layer deeper in terms of specificity can make a difference, right? And so, like, I have been on, I want to say 15 calls in the last week or so where like the frustration was around this point, and this was what is inspiring me to even talk about this, and that the hearing the it's too expensive, I can't afford it, and then discounting or giving something away for free, or having these payment plans where it there's a space for that, but you play the bank for your clients, right? And if something happens in their lives, they can't afford to pay you anymore. And so there's just things that you have to really consider. And so just to recap, if you are hearing it's too expensive, I can't afford it, I need to move things around, or I just finished this program, or I just did this, or I made this investment and I didn't make my money back, and I didn't do this and I didn't do that. If you're hearing money hesitation, yes, there's I will leave it to our sales trainer in the Exit Strategy Academy, our sales coach. Hello, coach. To tell you how to handle that objection on the actual call. But before you even get on the call, I want you to really consider, um, is your platinum potential client, is that lining up with your offer? Are they the right fit? Are you communicating the value of your offer? And finally, when you look at who your potential platinum client is, do they have the means? As a group, do they have the means to work with you? And if not, you may want to consider working with organizations that support that section of the population, where you're doing more of a B2B play, where you're hired to help support versus versus trying to go after individuals. Or it might be time to kind of pivot things and think um, of a more mature market that can afford to work with you. Now, I hope I didn't offend you by saying broke people aren't your clients, but like I said, there's two types of broke people. There is temporary cash flow disruption, and then there's the broke mindset, where they're always going to be broke because they have money hangups and money trauma that they haven't worked through, or they can't see the value in things because they've been playing small for far too long. So before I let you go, before I turn you loose, I cannot leave this call without extending an opportunity to book a strategy session, right? And so, like, if you are experiencing this, it's too expensive, I can't afford it, I need to move things around. I want to encourage you around the idea to reach out to us, book some time. We're happy to kind of do an audit with you where you can tell me, I want to hear who you're working with, what your offer is. Maybe there's some small tweaks we can do to your offer to make it sound more valuable, to highlight what they actually get. Or maybe it's just really tweaking your ideal client. So I had a call earlier today where it was like, I work with wives. Okay, we got to be way more specific than that. And so I just want to extend the opportunity to get some time on my calendar, book that strategy session at successbully.com/call. And I'd be happy to review your potential platinum client versus your platinum offer, and give you some insight on how to optimize it so that you reduce that financial objection by making sure you're more aligned with your clients' aspirations and their needs. Okay. So once again, I am Keita Williams. I am the founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Let's get after it.